Welcome into the Analyst and the Armchair, an NFL podcast where one host is obsessed with stats and spreadsheets, while the other is just really in love with screaming at the TV during games and has plenty of opinions. Together, we dive into the player news, weekly matchups, and all the storylines you'll be talking about with your friends. Whether you're a hardcore fan or just a casual fan, we've got something for you. I'm Michelle Majuk. I'm the Analyst part of the show.
And what's up? I'm Nycole, and I am the Armchair.
Today, we actually get to talk about week one games. Like, the season has started.
So excited.
Fastest offseason of my entire life. But we have a real, true game tonight, Thursday night. And then we have another game on Friday. And then all the games on Sunday. And then another game on Monday. We have a full slate. I'm super excited. We're going to dig into all of those matchups. There's some we agree on, which we can get through quickly. And some really bad games, which we barely want to talk about. Right. But then some amazing games that we also disagree on as well. So we'll get to all of that. There'll be lots of debates, lots of agreeing, lots of maybe arguments. We'll see if we can get out of this episode as friends. There's really only one thing we need to discuss for news at the top here, and that's Micah Parsons getting traded. I mean, this happened last week, but we haven't had an episode yet. We were talking about, did we actually think the Cowboys were ever going to do it? Well, they did it. And I mean, the Packers paid up a lot of draft picks and then paid them a ton of money. Do you think it was like, which side do you agree on? Are you on the Packers did a good job or the Cowboys did a good job?
I think from what you've gathered of my opinions thus far, I believe in paying your guys. And I think Dallas is dumb. And I love to say that out loud to all of you. Obviously, I think the Packers won all day in this trade. Dallas's offense was fine last year. Their defense was bad with Parsons. What do they think? Everybody's just going to magically get 10, 20% better without their star player on defense? Like, I just think it was such a bad decision on their part. And good for him going somewhere that wants him.
Good for him for going somewhere that wants him and for getting the money. Whatever I say right now, it has nothing to do with Parsons getting the money. I'm always pro players getting the money. Screw the billionaires, right?
Sure.
I do not care about the owners and their money.
Yeah.
However, I think both sides are dumb.
Okay.
So the Cowboys are dumb for not signing Parsons last year,
right? Or
even at the beginning of this offseason before the edge market absolutely blew up. I mean, prior to this offseason, there was one edge rusher making more than $28 million a year. Nick Bosa at 34. You could have signed Parsons for $35 million a year last offseason.
Yeah.
And now he's at $47 million. So Parsons should be thrilled that he didn't sign last year. I get why once the market blew up, the Cowboys were like, we got to be out, because paying an edge rusher that much money is insane. Even if how good Parsons is, it's insane. And if it was MLB or NBA, sure, it doesn't matter. Yeah, pay your guys. Nothing matters. I don't care about the billionaires. But when you have a cap space, it does matter.
Yeah, but do you think that position is going to make less money next year and the year after that and the year after that?
No, it's only going to keep going up. That's why
that's my point.
But I just think, like, I would also be like, okay, we'll go get a couple first-round picks. We'll let someone else pay you, and we'll figure it out. Because already, like you said, they were a bad defense last year with Parsons. TJ Watt, Myles Garrett, two best edge rushers in the league. Trey Hendrickson, you know what they have combined together? Well, especially Watt and Garrett have one playoff win together, and Garrett's one win was against the Steelers and TJ Watt.
Right.
So, like, all these edge rushers, I mean, Trey Hendrickson, another one of the best edge rushers in the league, Max Crosby. Mm-hmm. Those two are on terrible defenses, right? They don't make a difference. True. They don't really make that big of a difference in the win-loss column. There's one position that does, and it's quarterbacks. And now Parsons is getting paid like a quarterback. I mean, he's right below Jalen Hurts. He's only $7 million a year below Lamar Jackson. He's ahead of Kyler Murray. He's ahead of Patrick Mahomes. Like, you just can't be paid that much at that position. There's only one position.
Clearly you can, though.
Well, you can, like, good for Parsons.
Clearly you can.
I think it's stupid of the Packers to do this. Not only did they pay him this, they also had to give away their future picks.
Okay. Do you regret saying the Packers are overrated in week one now that they have Parsons?
Listen, they'll be better with Parsons. I'm not saying, their defense will be better with Parsons.
Well, obviously. But would you change your tune had you known that was going to happen?
I wouldn't have been as strongly against them, but I still don't think he's going to. Last year, the Cowboys' record sucked.
Sure, yeah. Yeah.
was there. I mean, Parsons did miss a handful of games. I don't want to.
I think there are other factors, 100%.
Yeah.
But I think the Packers did the right thing. I do. And we're going to see this week. Well, not if he doesn't play, right?
Yeah,
Because
I mean,
he's
and also the
potentially-
fact that he has a sprained back right now.
Yes, well, he's been
Wow.
carrying Dallas. So, I mean, that's exhausting. Whose back wouldn't hurt?
Oh, my Lord. So that was it for news. So we're going to just jump right into these games because we have a lot to talk about. There's no bye weeks. It's week 1. We're all excited. All of the games besides a couple, like you can come up with fun storylines for here because it is week 1 and no teams are out of it yet. Even if we think they're out of it.
Listen,
they're
clean
not
slate.
Yeah, you know, maybe the Saints could be amazing. We have no idea. Right?
Listen, it'll be the probably only time I say Cleveland is undefeated.
Exactly.
So
literally. Maybe the only time that you might say that Cleveland has a chance at anything.
Sure.
We're going to go game by game, but we're going to start with the games we agree on, and then we'll get to the games we don't agree on, because I want to take a little bit longer on the ones we don't agree on and kind of give our sides why we think, you know, this game will go that way or this way with whatever team. But let's start with Thursday Night Football. We got the Super Bowl champions, the Eagles, taking on the Cowboys, and we're both picking the Eagles to win. I do think the Cowboys will keep it kind of close, though. Like, I feel like everyone's just like, oh, the Eagles are going to destroy them. I don't know if they're going to destroy them.
Why?
Well,
what leads you to that?
no, I will say they destroyed them last year in both games.
Right.
Destroyed. I mean, it was 34-6 and 41-7. Dak Prescott did not play in either of those games, though.
Okay.
So I kind of want to just throw those out because if you have your backup, whatever. And I do think the Eagles' overall roster, much better. I mean, clearly their run game is so much better. Their offensive line is better. Their defensive line is better. Like, I fully expect the Eagles to win this game. But what is wild to me is that, so Dak Prescott and Jalen Hurts have been playing in the same division for 5 years now. And so that means they should be having 2 matchups a year during that time.
Right.
This will only be their 4th time meeting each other in a game because someone has been hurt.
Right.
7 out of the 10 times they were supposed to play each other.
Wow.
And then insane.
That's actually shocking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, when Dak plays, Dak is 4-1 against the Eagles since 2021. Now, against Hurts, he's 2-1. So it's close.
Okay.
Right? Dak Prescott against the NFC East, his own divisional opponents, is absolutely elite. Since 2021, he's 14-2 against NFC East opponents. So he comes together in divisional big games. I think he's going to keep it close with CeeDee Lamb and now George Pickens, Jake Ferguson. Like, I think the offense can keep it close enough.
I think the offense is sure, but I don't know that the defense can stop Philadelphia from scoring, which is why I think it's not even going to be close at all.
Don't you think so think about when we're just watching our Longhorns getting beat by Ohio State, right?
Yeah.
This game that had a high over-under, and we're thinking this is going to be a high-scoring game. A lot of times in week 1 in the NFL, especially in a primetime game like this on Thursday Night Football, the first game, it can be low scoring. If it stays low score, couldn't you see the Cowboys eking it out some way?
No.
Okay.
I think Philadelphia wins by 2 touchdowns.
So you would be saying that the Eagles are going to cover because it's at 8.5 points?
Yes, I would.
So I think the Eagles win, but I think the Cowboys cover. 8.5 points is crazy to me.
I don't think it is because Philadelphia is coming off of a win, which sometimes, right, like teams come back. I believe the Kansas City Chiefs did this a few years ago, right? Like they won the Super Bowl and then they look like garbage, coming back the next season. So is that a possibility? Sure. But I think when you look at Philadelphia's core folks, like they haven't changed enough, I think, to have that slump.
I think Jalen Hurts is a good enough leader to make sure they don't have that slump.
Yeah.
So again, I fully expect the Eagles to win. I just think it's going to be a closer game.
Okay, so now you agree with me.
No. I'm still saying that the Cowboys recover. That's how I'm going.
Okay.
All right, let's move on to another game that we agree on. And it's one of the games I'm most excited for this week because I love fantasy football. I love offense, right? So do you. Mm-hmm. It's the Buccaneers against the Falcons. And we're both predicting the Buccaneers to win, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, so for a lot of these, I kind of want to get to the other side, even when I think the Buccaneers are going to win.
Okay.
Bijan Robinson could take over the game for the Falcons.
Yes.
And could win the game by himself, right?
Mm-hmm.
Michael Penix could be really good in his second year. We don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the Buccaneers side, they have a new offensive coordinator. They have a lot of injuries already with Tristan Wirfs and Jalen McMillan and Chris Godwin. And their tight end, Kate Allen, might not even play. The Buccaneers lost both games against the Falcons last year. despite winning the division.
Right.
And Baker Mayfield is 1-3 against the Falcons since joining the Buccaneers.
I think that's a lot of great statistics. I don't think it accounts for Tampa Bay. They lost barely to the Commanders last year in the playoffs.
And at that time, it looked like, oh my God, I can't believe they lost to the Commanders. But then they make it to that. Yeah,
fair.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's probably more about Washington than it is about the Bucs. But I think that's the point: is that the Bucs were playing really good football going into the playoffs, and so I think they pick up right where they left off. I agree with you. I think Atlanta has I think this game will be much, much closer. I think it'll be really tight. Maybe somebody wins by a field goal. But I'm like a see it to believe it person. And so I can't get behind Atlanta winning this first game.
Yeah, I don't think, I mean, I'm with you. I don't think Michael Penix Jr. is going to be great. I just don't see that. They also have an injury with Darnell Mooney, their second wide receiver. They have some injuries on the offensive line. So they're both dealing with injuries. I think Baker Mayfield and the Buccaneers definitely, get this done. But Vegas right now, they have this as pretty much a coin flip. It's the Buccaneers are favored by 1.5 points. I think that's fair. I do think it's going to be a great game. Yeah. Another game that's going to be amazing. And I'm going to be holding my breath throughout it with how much I've hated on one of these teams throughout it. It's the Lions against the Packers. Mm-hmm. And it is in Green Bay, which I do think normally is a huge advantage for them.
Right.
We are both picking the Lions, which I'm shocked by. I know you're kind of on the fence though.
This was a hard one for me. I really like the Packers here. Again, I think they're an underdog team, even though you
the eye roll I had to just give.
Yeah.
The underdog team that everyone's picking to win the division and make it to a Super Bowl.
Sure. The reason I took Detroit over Green Bay is because of experience. I think if they came out and won this game, it would say a lot for the rest of their season and a lot for Detroit's season as well.
Oh, I mean, if the Packers come out and beat the Lions, it's going to say a lot. It really, really is. It's going to be okay, well, maybe the Lions are struggling without Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn. They lost their OC in DC. Maybe, the Packers have figured it out, especially if Parsons plays and their defense looks good. Maybe he was the missing piece. There's going to be so much coming out of this game, depending on who wins. But I mean,
it's week one. That's the thing too, is I have to remind myself, it's week one, this is not going to make or break somebody's season, but I do think it could really show people, these teams we've been talking about and thinking about, oh, they made this move. Oh, they made that move. I think it could be, I like when a team has to come in as the underdog week one, because for them, I feel like there's much less pressure. Right. And so I feel like they have the advantage there.
But honestly, the Lions are the underdogs in this game. They're getting 2.5 points.
Which doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, exactly. This is what I'm saying. The Packers are so overrated. The Packers are so overrated.
Sure. I hope this is a good one too. I mean, I think it has to be.
I do think it'll be a close game. Yeah. The Lions have won each of their last 3 games in Lambeau Field, which is pretty crazy because they used to never be able to win there. They have never won 4 straight games at Green Bay. Since the 1950s. That's the last time they've won. I realized I just said they never did, but they haven't since 1950s. But Jared Goff has also been he has a great record against the Packers. They have that run game. I'm really not too worried about Ben Johnson being gone. I think Jared Goff can handle it. And I went through on our first episode talking about the Packers being so overrated. They were 1-5 against divisional opponents last year. Their 10 wins outside the division, none of them were impressive to me. A lot of bad teams or a lot of injured teams. So I'm just not impressed. I got to hold strong.
I can't wait for that game. I hope we watch it together and that it'll just be fun.
Now this game should not be too fun, but maybe they might be able to make it fun. It's the Bengals versus the Browns. Obviously we're both picking the Bengals to win.
Right.
However, last year at this time, we would have been sitting here. The Bengals played the Patriots, and we would have been like, yeah, obviously the Bengals are going to destroy them. And guess what? The Patriots won. because the Bengals suck to start the year.
You're right.
They are 1-11 in weeks 1 and 2 under Zach Taylor since he became the head coach of that team in 2019. Joe Burrow is 1-9 as a starter in weeks 1 and 2. They start so slow.
1-9. Yikes.
Yeah.
Yikes, Joe. Yikes, Joe.
This game is in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Let's say Joe Flacco has one of his like hero games.
Yeah.
Let's say the Browns defense shows up.
Mm-hmm.
I could see an upset, but obviously we got to pick the Bengals.
You could see an upset. I'm going to tell Michelle from last week you said that. Here's the thing. I think Cincinnati has to. They have to come out
You would think.
and win this game. And not even win, but like beat up on the Browns. I think if they don't, it's going to be like last year where people are like, what are the Bengals doing? You know?
If their defense gets beat up by Joe Flacco and Jerome Ford and Jerry Jeudy. Now, I do think David Njoku has a sick game if you play fantasy game in your lineup. But yeah, if they lose to this team,
it would be bad. It would be very bad. And again, I think it will make a lot of folks question the rest of the season. I hate to say that on week 1 because I just told us it's week 1, but I do think for the Bengals it's a big deal going into week 2, week 3. You know,
now they're trying to change this narrative of losing all the time early season. They've been playing their starters in the preseason. We'll see if that actually makes a difference. But if they lose this game, I mean, Zach Taylor's never going to get over the whole you cannot get your team ready for the start of the season. Like, what is going on?
Right.
What are you doing in the preseason? Like, what are you doing in training camp? So that will be really interesting. And as you know, I'm a Steelers fan. I do like to watch Joe Burrow in the Bengals.
Yeah.
Love the city of Cleveland, but I would love that drama in the division, you know?
It would make for a good storyline.
Also, I want Cleveland to win games this year so they can't get the number 1 quarterback next year. That'd be great.
That's fair too.
Moving on. I'm actually more excited for this game than I should be. It's the Panthers versus the Jaguars. We're both picking the Jaguars here. And you got 2 number 1 overall quarterbacks, Bryce Young and Trevor Lawrence, that lose a lot of games. I mean, they're both big time losers, right? And in their record, I mean, they lose a lot of games. Bryce Young came along at the end of last year. I'm excited to see what he can do in the second year with Dave Canales. And if he can build upon that, Trevor Lawrence gets Liam Cohen now. It's kind of crazy. These 2 guys just came from the Buccaneers. Liam Cohen and Dave Canales, you know, were with Baker Mayfield, and then they left to get their head coaching jobs. I do think this could be a really fun game because both defenses stink.
Yeah.
Let's see what these quarterbacks can do. Because if Trevor Lawrence can't put it together with Brian Thomas Jr. and Travis Hunter, and, you know, I like Bretton Strange. I like the running backs. I love Liam Cohen. If he can't do it against the Panthers defense, what are you doing?
Well, I think it's going to depend on, you know, how healthy is he, right? Is he ready to go? You know, I'm excited to see Travis Hunter's debut, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
how much does he use at corner?
Right. Like, I would love to know that. I mean, I said it, you know, a couple episodes ago, I really like the Jaguars this year. So I fully expect them to come out and play really well this week. I would be shocked if they looked meh.
I don't know if I would be shocked, but they really shouldn't look meh.
They shouldn't.
Yes.
Which is why I think I would be shocked.
Tell
me how you really feel.
I am excited for the game, and I honestly picked the Jaguars, but I will not be surprised at all if the Panthers win.
Okay,
that was kind of a close coin toss to me, and I'm sure in Vegas I got to look up that line. I'm sure it's like 1.5. I actually don't know which way I would bet there if I had to put money down. If you had to put money down,
ooh, I only bet when I know I'm going to win. Michelle, you know, that's a joke. I still would go with the Jaguars. I would.
Okay.
Yeah. Whatever the bet.
Oh, wow. It's 3.5. The Panthers are getting 3.5 points.
Yeah.
I'm going Panthers.
Okay. Well, drinks on the loser, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And we are going to put those drinks on the ones we disagree on. These are still all the ones we agree on. We will get to those debates shortly here. We have a few more games we agree on. One being the Raiders and the Patriots. We're both picking the Raiders. I do think the Patriots can be all right with Drake May. I just don't think they added enough just yet. I think the Raiders added so much with Geno Smith and Pete Carroll and Ashton Genty. They have second year Brock Bowers, and they added the rookie wide receivers who look good. Like, I think the Raiders handled this against the Patriots.
Oh, 100%. This is one that I assume the money line is pretty pretty high because I mean
The Raiders are getting 2.5 points.
that's it.
No, they're getting 2.5.
Oh,
they're underdogs.
No,
That has to be the lock of the week.
That can't be. Yeah, we're dumb because we don't. Or maybe I did choose that.
At the end of this episode, we're picking the lock of the week. I did not see that.
I did not choose this one, but I mean, this one would be a great one. They both have new head coaches, right? In Mike Bramble and Bravel, yes, that one, and Pete Carroll, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I just, like you said, I think the Raiders crushed the offseason, and this one is shocking that they're giving them 2.5.
2.5 points. I get they're on the road, but
also maybe people just think like they don't actually think Ashton Genty is going to be as good as he is, right? Like maybe there's just questions.
For whatever reason, the Patriots win over was 8.5 wins. So Vegas is actually expecting the Patriots to be pretty solid this year. I don't think Mike Vrabel coming in just fixes them completely. I mean, the Titans had bad records under Vrabel. That's why he was fired by them. So I just don't think he fixes everything. I am excited to see Drake May. We'll see what he can do with the young guys, but I'm definitely taking the Raiders in that game, and I'm smashing that 2.5 points. I would take the money line because then you can make more. We fully expect the Raiders to win. You get plus 120. I am taking that. Now, the worst game of the week by far, Cardinals against Saints. If the Cardinals
really hate the Saints too, though.
Oh, well, because the Saints are going to be so bad.
Yeah.
Spencer Rattler starting. He was 0-6 last year. Did nothing fun at all. The Cardinals are one of the most boring teams to watch. Kyler Murray is so inconsistent. The offense is so inconsistent. The defense is so inconsistent as well. They can come out and have a great game or a bad game in any given week, and you never know. But if the Cardinals can't win this game, good luck to your prediction that they win the division.
Here's the thing. I think this game will show how good Arizona can be, and I think it's going to show how bad New Orleans is. That's what I think this game is going to show. The problem with that is if Arizona comes in and plays to the Saints level, and that will look really poorly for them.
The Saints are getting 6.5 points against the Cardinals. I'm still taking the Cardinals to cover. I think they win by more than 7 points.
Yeah, I agree with that for sure.
Now we have to get to my team, the Steelers against the Jets. Still don't really love rooting for Aaron Rodgers, but this will be an interesting game because Aaron Rodgers goes back, plays the Jets. Got Justin Fields with the Jets, who played with the Steelers last year. Obviously, that's going to be the big storyline. The Steelers are normally really prepared for week one. Like Mike Tomlin has them prepared week one after buys. Like whenever they get extra time, they're good. 4-1 in week one over the last 5 seasons. The Jets, on the other hand, 1-4. Now they do have a new head coach, so maybe he prepared them better. Who knows? But with Fields and Rodgers, they actually played against each other a lot because they used to play in the same division. When the Fields was with the Bears, Rodgers with the Packers. Rodgers won all 4 games he played against Fields. Now, completely different teams, and it's not really all up to the quarterback. But I think the Steelers just smash the Jets. Justin Fields has looked bad. Can't connect with Garrett Wilson this preseason. Their guard, Elijah Vera Tucker, is already out for the year, which was their best offensive lineman by far. I don't see how Fields gets this done against the Steelers defense.
This is a game that I picked Pittsburgh because I think they will win, and I would love for them to lose. I'm gonna be honest. I know you're a big fan of all the things, but
oh my god, my dad watching this wants to punch you through the screen right now.
Come at me, Pat. Here's the thing. I like Justin Fields. You've never liked Justin Fields.
I've always loved Justin Fields.
You don't like him.
I love Justin Fields.
You don't.
I do.
So you heard it here, folks. I think, he played, I want to say it was 6 games for the Steelers last year before Russell Wilson came back. Played terribly, but played. Justin Fields had one fewer win. How would I say that?
Yeah.
Than Rodgers last year. He played 17 games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, but
Aaron Rodgers is washed up. This year will confirm that.
You don't think that has more to do with Fields playing on the Steelers, who are a much better team around him, than Rodgers playing on the Jets? That's the whole point. Like, you switch the teams. I just don't think
and that's what we're going to see, right? That's what we're going to see. Is it more about the quarterback or is it more about the team? Also, I think if the Steelers do lose this game, Bye, Mike Tomlin. I think he's in
Just after week one.
hot seat. I think it's a bad trajectory
Yeah.
for the team,
Mhm.
is what I mean. So
I got you. No, if they lose against the Jets, yeah, that'd be real eye-opening.
I'd love to
kind
see
of
it.
funny for Aaron Rodgers to lose against them.
sure.
We got the Giants and Washington Commanders on the schedule. We're both picking the Commanders. It just comes down to not trusting Russell Wilson at all, right?
Oh yeah.
Like he lost his last 5 starts with the Steelers. He looked bad. I think the Commanders defense is on the up and up. We know Jaden Daniels is fantastic. I don't see him falling off at all. I mean, this is the Commanders win for me.
Yeah, that's obvious, right? Anybody that's a Giants fan is like, that's rude. I think for the Giants fans' sake, I really hope Russell Wilson looks better than he did last year, because he was
He's
a
not going to.
disaster in Pittsburgh.
He started okay.
I couldn't stand watching their games. Like literally I was yelling at one point, like, put in Fields, because he was just, he's so bad. I want Deebo Samuel to blow everyone's expectations out of the water in Washington. That's what I want to see in this game.
He's going to have less than 50 yards.
And I'm very excited, actually, though, to see Jaden Daniels and how he handles the defensive pressure of the Giants. I think that could be really interesting to watch, because I think it'll bolster his confidence if they, are rushing quite a bit. So I'm excited to see how he handles that.
The Giants defensive line could definitely get to him and mess some things up. That's really the only thing that could change that game.
Right.
2 more games we agree on. Titans, Broncos. We're both picking Denver. I don't think the Broncos are going to be great this year, but I do think they're going to be able to handle it against the Titans, who had the worst record in the league last year. And yes, I know Cam Ward should make this team better. Like, I think the Titans will be better than last year, but it's a home game for Denver. Their defense is so good against a rookie quarterback. Not a ton of weapons.
Sure. Yeah. I don't think this one will be close in the slightest. I think, you've got a rookie quarterback playing away, which is tricky, right? Broncos led the league in sacks last year, so I think their defense is scary, especially for little Cam Ward trying to throw the football and settle in. So yeah, I think this game is kind of a lock, if you will.
Oh man, are you giving a little spoiler to later? Are you going to do the points is what we're going to have to figure out.
Yeah.
Now, this game at first, I had this down as us agreeing, but I'm kind of right in the middle here. It's the Dolphins against the Colts. I think it's a coin flip game. I can perfectly see it going either way. You're picking the Dolphins. I kind of want to lead the Colts. Now, the Colts have not won in week 1 since 2013.
That's a long time.
But their owner died. I think they're going to be playing for him, right? Like, they'll have that strength to play for him. I also, I don't trust the Dolphins on the road as much. Tua on the road, 13-16 record overall in his career.
That's bad.
At home, 25-8. Great.
Okay.
Last year, 1-3 on the road. So I do think the Colts could pull this out as long as Jonathan Taylor, the Dolphins lost so much in their secondary. Right. If Tyler Warren and Jonathan Taylor can have a good game and Daniel Jones just doesn't throw the ball away and give the game away, I think it can be close, and I think they could pull it out. So that's a sneaky little upset I think we could do.
So you do think it's close, though?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because this was one of the ones I wrote down, and I was like, this might be a silly choice. But I think, Tua is unfortunately one hit away from being done, right? Yeah. And so I think, how is he going to play, kind of knowing that? But I think Miami has more weapons than Indianapolis at this point. And so I think it's just going to come down to execution.
Now, the Colts are actually favored, because I was going to say go take the Colts points, but they're favored by 1.5. It's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, again, I think this is one of those games that could go either way.
Yeah.
Depending on, execution.
Now you have to get into some fun games, some fun debates, ones we do not agree on. And I've been talking up the Chargers all off season long. I've been talking them up in our first couple episodes. So there should be no surprise here that on Friday night, when the Chiefs play the Chargers in Brazil, I am fully expecting the Chargers to take down the Chiefs.
Okay.
Do you think I'm crazy?
I think you're wrong.
Okay.
Unfortunately. I listen and hear me say, sometimes my opinions don't align with what I want, but it's just what I think is going to actually happen. I would love nothing more for Kansas City after stumbling out of the Super Bowl looking terrible, to go down to Brazil and get embarrassed, right? I would love nothing more. However, I am not yet convinced by you that the Chargers are just going to all of a sudden come out and start winning games that they should be winning and be this better team that wins the division. But I think this game could definitely sway me, depending on how it goes, right? It's also in Brazil, which gives Kansas City the advantage.
You think it gives Kansas City the advantage?
It actually does, because
Okay.
they're, I want to say 3-0 in international games.
Okay.
Whereas I believe the Chargers, I'm not the stats here, but are 1-3, I believe. And so I think that gives Kansas City the edge. I think there will be a lot more Kansas City fans because of Taylor Swift. Yeah. They're in Brazil, and I think that almost feels like a home game because of just people and fans.
Well, even when they play at home, the Chargers, it's still a home game for the opposing team because they have no fans. So they're used to this.
That's fair. So, and I think Kansas City has a lot more to lose if they lose this game. So I think Patrick Mahomes is feeling the pressure, and they have to win this first game.
So right now, I'm just going into it saying the Chargers are the better team, and I truly believe that.
Sure.
Now, who's more likely to mess up at the end of the game if it's close? Obviously, it's going to be the Chargers and Herbert, and they're going to make some mistake, and the Chiefs will get so lucky with something stupid happening for sure.
Yeah.
But last year, Herbert has lost 6 straight games to the Chiefs.
Right.
So yes, it hasn't been good. The streak has to end at some point, right?
It does.
Last year, they're both close games, and the defense for the Chargers really held the Chiefs under control. They held the Chiefs to under 20 points in both their games last year. Week 4, the Chargers lost 17-10. You need to score more than 10 points against the Chiefs to win. Yeah. Right. But it was a brand new offense, brand new head coaches, brand new play callers, brand new weapons, right? Justin Herbert was just getting situated. And then in week 14, the Chiefs win 19-17. And of course, it was on a last-second field goal, because why would it not be? Right. And it was right after the Chargers kicker kicked it out of bounds on the kickoff. So they get the ball at the 40, and all they needed was one short completion pass to get in field goal range and a scramble from Mahomes. And there you go. Right. You win the game. Right. But Ladd McConkey was out that second game, which is huge. And the run game stunk in both of those games for the Chargers. And I think the running game for the Chargers this year is going to be so much better with Marion Hampton and with Najee Harris. So for all those reasons, I'm saying the Chargers are going to win this game.
Okay.
The Chargers are getting 3 points. I'm taking that. I'm taking the money line. I'm getting crazy. Plus 142. Let's go.
Well, we'll see.
Are you going to take? You're wrong. You're going to take the Chiefs -3? Are you going to give the Chargers 3 points?
I do think it'll be close.
Okay.
I don't feel confident in putting any money behind that. I'd give the Chiefs 3.
Okay. Chargers are going to win. And we're going to be watching that game together, I'm sure. So I'm excited.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, we got Sunday Night Football. Ravens against the Bills. This should be an amazing game. I mean, the primetime games in week 1 are sick. We're being spoiled here. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm taking the Bills. You're taking the Ravens. Was it close for you, though? Because I do feel like, both of these teams are amazing. Both of these quarterbacks are amazing. What was your decision making here? Why do you think the Ravens will win?
I think the Ravens will win because both their offense and defense were rated higher than Buffalo.
Okay.
I love Derrick Henry. Mm-hmm. I think it's very difficult to guard both Henry and Lamar Jackson on the run. Mm-hmm. So, for those reasons, I also think they added Joey Bosa on Buffalo, which I think could present a problem for the Ravens. But ultimately, the Ravens barely lost to Buffalo last year. Mm-hmm. I believe in the divisional round, and it's like I feel like the Ravens are right there, and everybody just has so much hype and love for Josh Allen, rightfully so. I just don't see the Ravens losing to them this year. But I think it's going to be a great game. I think it's going to be a close game, but I'd love to see the Ravens take the win.
Now, the one reason I would say the Ravens could come out and win this game. I mean, not one reason. They have a great roster. They have great players, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But because they're so mad about that divisional round
Mm-hmm.
game, if you remember, Mark Andrews dropped a 2-point conversion right in his hands.
Yes.
Should have tied the game up. We don't know what would have happened after that. I'm sure they're going in angry, getting kicked out by the Bills, right?
Right.
My thing is, whatever team was home in this game, I was going to take. And the Bills are home. The Bills went undefeated last year at home, 10-0, including the playoffs.
Okay.
They're 22-2 in Buffalo over the last 3 seasons.
Wow.
The 2 games they lost, one was in overtime against the Vikings in 2022. It was a wild ending. Everything that the Vikings needed to have and happened. Justin Jefferson made insane catch that should have never been it. They should have never lost that game, is what I'm saying. And they lost in overtime. And then they lost in 2023, week 10, to the Broncos by 2 points. A game, again, like no one actually ever thought they were gonna lose. And then just at the end, it ended up going that way. So how good the Bills are at home. Now, the Ravens are really good on the road too. Don't get me wrong, but I think just how dominant they are on the road. I think as long as they don't let Derrick Henry go absolutely off, I think they got it. And the Bills getting 1.5 points at home when they haven't lost at home since 2023, since week 10 of 2023, is crazy.
I like it though. I like it. I think
Bills fans are crazy.
I think, yeah. Well, I like the chip on Lamar Jackson's shoulders here, so I'm for it.
It's going to be a good game. I don't know if it'll be high scoring, but it'll be a good game.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, we got another primetime game, Monday Night Football, Vikings against the Bears. I'm high on the Bears this year. I think Ben Johnson gets this offense going. I think they have a solid enough defense. A little bit worried about the Vikings. I think J.J. McCarthy will be fine, but I think the Vikings got a little lucky last year with how many turnovers they got, and those can be very inconsistent on defense, and that helped out the offense a ton. So I'm going with Chicago here. I think they pull it out.
I think what's unfortunate is like J.J. McCarthy, he tore his meniscus, I believe, so he didn't play at all last year. But he is really a rookie, right? Like, rightfully so. And so I think it's a risk I like that they're taking. I think it's crazy, on paper to have let go Sam Darnold after a winning season and then to go with a rookie who sat out his entire first year. I mean, due to injury, but and then sign somebody like Carson Wentz to be on the bench, which I do like. You know me, I like those guys. Yeah. I talked week 1 about Joe Flacco and Daniel Jones. So
you love the guys that will throw 5 interceptions in a game. They're your favorite.
Okay, but I like that they throw the ball, right? And so
they are fun to watch.
They're fun to watch. And so anyway, so I like the confidence behind JJ McCarthy for the Vikings. They throw the ball a lot. He has great targets in Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison. And I think they're going to do really well this year. And I'm not convinced that Ben Johnson can go and win game 1. Okay. I'm going to be honest. I think their offense was so bad last year. I know he came in and totally revamped it. I don't know if it's going to be enough. And it's too early, I think, to get behind the Bears. If Caleb Williams doesn't get sacked 500 times this year, I think they have a chance. But I just think it's too early for the offense to be what it needs to be to come in and win this game.
So my thing is looking at last year, I think the Bears were on the right track. They started 4-2. They're averaging nearly 25 points per game from weeks 1 through 6. They go on that week 7 bye. And then in week 8, they're about to beat the Commanders. Like they beat them. But then the Hail Mary at the end of the game, because the stupid Bears defender was bragging and not even looking to cover at all. They lose. I think at that moment, the team just lost all faith in Matt Eberflus and the team. They were done. I mean, they went 1-10 after that.
Yeah,
they were just like, I don't like this is like, I just think it just completely defeated them. So I don't think they're as bad as a team as they seemed last year. I think they're over their coach. I think they're over the team. So I do think they have a good team. I think they can put it together. And I think the Vikings just won more games than they should have last year compared to like what they're actually doing.
But it's too soon to say. That's why I'm not going with them. That's why you can't pick the Bears.
I'm taking the Bears. And they get 1.5 points. So I'm taking the Bears. I'm just taking the money line.
But, right. Yeah.
So when it's that close, I'm just going to take the money line.
Okay. Yeah.
We got to talk about one of your favorite teams.
That's right.
The Texans taking on the Rams.
That's right.
Now, I will be rooting for the Texans.
I can't believe you went against them in this game.
I'll be rooting for the Texans.
Rude.
But I think the Rams are going to win. The Rams just, like, their defensive line, I just think it's going to overpower the Texans' offensive line, which I don't think the offensive line is going to be as bad as people think for the Texans, but it's a new line. They're going to start a little rough, and the Rams, they started to gel so much on defense last year. They have a lot of young guys. They all came together, and they've been great at drafting. I think that defensive line versus offensive line battle, and that way is going to overpower the Texans' offense. And I really like the Texans' pass defense, but to cover Devonta Adams, to cover Puka Nacua, to stop Kyron Williams. And if Stafford's healthy right now, I know he's still dealing with the back. Like, I don't see the Texans winning this game.
I don't see them losing this game. Quite frankly, yeah, Stafford's hurt. It'll take 1 or 2 sacks. I can't wait. The Texans defense.
Are you rooting for him to get hurt?
I never said get hurt. I want him to get sacked. Those are 2 very different statements. Okay. Don't do that to me. I want Houston's defense to come out so dominant and scary. Mm-hmm. And I think they will. I think they've only added weapons, and I can't wait. I cannot wait. So I think for that reason, I think they will come out, be dominant on defense, hopefully sack Stafford a couple times. I'm hoping he doesn't even get to throw the ball to those folks, right? And if he does, I'm hoping that Petrie right here is just like, I'll take that. I would love to see Houston come out and dominate this first game. I think the scary thing for me is, will CJ Stroud come out slow? That's my biggest concern. I want him to jump in there, throw the ball as much as he can, as often as he can, and get the confidence early in the game. Because I think if he has a slow start and we're behind at half by more than probably a touchdown, I think it'll be an uphill battle and be really hard to come back. So I'd love to see a quick start from CJ Stroud.
Yeah, the worry I have about the running game for the Texans without Joe Mixon there, and the confidence I have in Kyron Williams is kind of the difference here. Mm-hmm. I will say, to give you some hope as a Texans fan, Matthew Stafford is 0-4 against DeMeco Ryans' defense. So they used to, he used to play against DeMeco Ryans twice a year when DeMeco Ryans was the defensive coordinator for the 49ers. Stafford 0-4, and the Rams only averaged 14.3 points per game in those 4 matchups against DeMeco Ryans' defense. All the rest of the games during that span, they averaged 24 points per game. So DeMeco Ryans knew how to shut down Matthew Stafford. Maybe that can happen. I do think it comes down to which offensive line can block for their quarterback better. Because Stafford under pressure last year was terrible, and Stafford was too, right? So which guy can be better? Which offensive line can protect better, and which guy can actually make plays when they are pressured?
Well, and I think that's something that the Texans really thought about last year, was that offensive line. So I'm really hopeful that's going to be the difference, and Houston will come out 1-0.
And we saved exciting, fun game, our jerseys for last. We got the 49ers against the Seahawks. I cannot believe Nycole's not agreeing with me on this game. Insane. She's never allowed to wear a Brock Purdy jersey ever again.
I thought about that.
Yeah,
I thought about that. Yeah,
you're never allowed to wear it again.
Listen,
I'll take it from your closet. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
because you're a fake fan. I am taking the 49ers, obviously, but it's not even just because I'm a fan. I just think they're going to destroy the Seahawks and Sam Darnold.
I think it's going to be a much better matchup than you are giving credit. Also, it's only fun to pick Seattle because I knew you'd be so mad about it. I'd be so mad. I like this matchup a lot. I think it could be a really fun game to watch. You hate Sam Darnold. I think, his playing in Minnesota, I think speaks for itself. I think he's going to be really good in Seattle. I think them adding Cooper Kupp, is only helpful for them. I think DK Metcalf leaving, it opens up more opportunities for JSN, right? And so I think for those reasons, I think they have a much better shot than anyone's giving them credit for in this game.
So I don't.
Tell me why.
I don't think the Seahawks got better moving on from Geno Smith to Sam Darnold. Now, I'm not like this big Geno Smith believer. I'm fine with the team. Like, if you want to move on from Geno Smith, sure, he's never going to win you a Super Bowl. Neither will Sam Darnold, though, and he's way worse on a game-to-game basis than Geno Smith. So I think that's silly. They lost DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, right? So already you're losing weapons. Sam Darnold doesn't have Kevin O'Connell anymore. He doesn't have Justin Jefferson. So no, I'm not worried about the Seahawks offense. The 49ers have won 6 of the last 7 games against the Seahawks, including the playoffs. The one game they lost was last year, but it was a 3-point loss, 20-17. George Kittle didn't play in the game, and Nick Bosa got hurt early in the second half. And it was a 3-point game, and they won right at the end there. Yeah. So I'm really not worried about that one loss. Kittle and Christian McCaffrey absolutely always destroy the Seahawks. Both of those two guys have the most scrimmage yards per game by any player against the Seahawks in NFL history, in team history. They just literally destroy them.
Where do you get this stuff?
Christian McCaffrey, guess how many yards per game he averages against the Seahawks in his career? He's played 6 games.
Per game?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
158. 158 scrimmage yards per game.
Wow.
It's not only the most against the Seahawks by any player.
But is he healthy?
It's the 4th most by any player against any opponent in NFL history.
Sure. But is he healthy?
Yes, he's perfectly healthy at the moment.
We don't know if that's what they told me last year, and I drafted him number 1 in fantasy. So
he's fine.
I don't feel good about it.
Brock Purdy at Seattle, playing in Seattle, which is a really hard place to play, by the way.
Yes.
But not for Brock Purdy. He's 3-0 there. The 49ers averaged 29 points per game in those 3 starts that he has. He averages over 8 yards per pass attempt. He has 110 passer rating. Like, he just doesn't get faced in Seattle. I'm not worried about it
yet.
Now, I think that Robert Saleh, the DC now for the 49ers, could have serious revenge out for Sam Darnold.
Okay.
And this is why. Because Sam Darnold not only beat Robert Saleh in his first ever game as head coach with the Jets, he also beat him in his last ever game as head coach with the Jets. So Robert Saleh got fired last year after Sam Darnold and the Vikings beat his Jets.
Right.
And I think he might hold on to some hatred there, you know?
Yeah, I'm sure that's what he thinks about at night.
You got me fired. So that's just my fun little reasoning. I just think he's going to go in there. And no, I'm not worried about Sam Darnold in the slightest. He's not going to be good this year or in this game.
Okay. Well, I can't wait for next week, and we come back and we see who was right and who was wrong about all of these picks.
We'll definitely go through those. To finish up today's episode, let's hit our 2-minute warning. And for our 2-minute warning this week, we're going to do our lock of the week. So one team we are certain is going to win and cover. We're not worried about it whatsoever. There's no telling us anything else. Do you want me to go first or you?
Well, I feel like it's only fair that I go first.
Okay.
Because I already hinted at it earlier. I think the Broncos are a lock this week.
A lock to cover or a lock to just win?
Remind me, it's 2.5.
7.5.
7.5?
Uh-huh. Your face got all...
Yeah, no, I feel good about that.
Yeah, no,
I feel good about that. I think, again, like I said, you have a rookie quarterback coming in playing away. You have the Broncos defense, who we've already talked about, was really good last year. I think they're going to come out. They're going to bully Cam Ward early and often because he's new and they can. And I really like the Broncos defense in that they spread the wealth, right? Like their team had like 4 or 5 guys that each had 5+ sacks last year. So I love that, like, it's a defense. Look at me with stats. It's a defense that spreads the wealth. So you don't have one guy, a Micah Parsons. You don't have a Max Crosby. You don't have the one guy who's on a bad team. You have a team with a lot of really good guys. And I think that's why this game is a lock this week.
It's definitely a lock. The 7.5 points, I like it. Yeah, I'm taking it. I like that.
Yeah.
I like it. My lock of the week is the Steelers to cover against the Jets. They're 2.5 point favorites. I'm not worried about it. I just don't. There's literally only Garrett Wilson to worry about. And Breece Hall, yeah, sure. And maybe Mason Taylor, the rookie tight end, could get it going. But in the passing game, it's Garrett Wilson. And the Steelers have revamped their secondary and Jalen Ramsey and Darius Slay. They still have Joey Porter Jr. I just think all they have to do is focus on Garrett Wilson. And Justin Fields has already struggled to connect with him.
I think your problem in this game is going to be Aaron Rodgers.
But not Justin Fields?
No.
Okay. I mean, I'm not thinking Aaron Rodgers is going to be great, but I do think he can handle this. Now, the big issue with the Steelers offense is they only have DK Metcalf, right? And Sauce Gardner could take him out of the game.
Yeah.
But I just trust the defense to come up with bigger plays for the Steelers than the Jets will. And I think Aaron Rodgers can come through with a touchdown or two. Unlike, I just don't think
Plus an interception
if
or
the,
two.
if the Jets even score 10 points, I'll be shocked. Shocked.
Wow. Well,
Yeah.
that would be a lock then, I guess, for you. I don't believe it, but
I'm so excited to see what we're so wrong on and what we're so right on. Because there's going to be things we're wrong on. I mean,
Sure.
the season hasn't started yet. There's always teams that surprise us. Last year, this time, the Commanders were not supposed to be any good. Like, teams surprise us all of the time. So excited for this season to start, to watch all the games. This is it for today's episode. Please subscribe if you're watching us on YouTube. If you're listening to us in audio form, give us that review, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Follow us on social media at The Analyst and The Armchair. We're on Instagram. Go over there and just let us know what you want to hear from us and what you don't want to hear from us and what we're great at and not great at, maybe.
see you for week 2.
Bye, y'all.